Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marco Martin's Monday Moanings, where I moan on a Monday. If you have kids, go to a restaurant for kids. I don't want to be out at a restaurant that I want to be at where the food is good and have your kids screaming and shouting in that same restaurant. Go to Spur. They have a place for it. It's a restaurant for kids. I don't care if the food sucks. That's your problem. You shouldn't have had kids. Or feed them at home. They're going to get fat at restaurants. Cook something nice. But if you have kids, go to a restaurant that is made for people with kids. And another thing, airlines. We should have like a Spur Airlines, an airline for kids. If you want to fly to Cape Town with your kids, why are you on the same plane as me? Why are your kids on a plane with me? I know it's 2 hours. And Marco, what's the big deal? It's kids for 2 hours. Have you been on a plane with annoying kids for 2 hours? That's my problem with kids on an airline. You should have an airline for kids. Put a ball pit in the back of the plane. I don't care. I don't want to be on a plane with a bunch of kids at the same time. I'm not the one who had kids. I was smart, and now I have to deal with the consequences of your children. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, yeah, but good parents can look after. I don't care. I don't want to have to think if you're a good parent or not. I don't want that guilt on my conscience of saying, oh, that person is not a good parent. Just don't be there for me to judge. Because then I feel judgy. I feel crap. I feel horrible about myself. And it's a Monday morning. I've got other things to worry about. Now I have to worry if I'm too judgy. Are you too judgy? You judge that woman for how she's raising her kids. Good. Don't be around. Don't let me judge you for how you raise your kids. Find an airline for kids. Please. Make it expensive too. Anyway. It is February. It's the first Monday mornings of the year. Welcome back to it. What's really killing me at the moment is how people are still saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year. At what point do you cut off the Happy New Year's? Am I going to see someone for the first time in 2025 in July, and then they're going to be like, hey, Happy New Year. Ha ha. Ha ha. So funny. Oh, wow, I haven't seen you since 2024. I guess Happy New Year for all the times I haven't seen you. In an email in February, Happy New Year. Trust you well. Season's greetings. It's February. Valentine's Day has just passed. It's not Happy New Year anymore. Cut it out. Cut it off. Speaking of Valentine's, I think a lot of guys don't know how to do Valentine's Day properly. First of all, do you go out on Valentine's Day as a single person, or do you try to get a date for Valentine's Day? The answer is neither. You go out on Thursday night, the night before Valentine's Day, to go and find all the desperate girls who haven't got a date for Valentine's Day yet. They're out on the night of the 13th of February. Go out, be charming, and act like you like Valentine's Day. This is important. This is key. You have to act like you actually genuinely like Valentine's Day. And then when you speak to them, encourage the idea that you're prepared to be with them tomorrow, Valentine's Day, that you're prepared to go and do something on Valentine's Day. But here's the kicker. You've never intended on actually doing something on Valentine's Day. That's far too great a commitment for someone you've just met, right? So what you need to do is plan to do something during the day on Valentine's Day. This gives you an easy out for work as an excuse. Oh, I couldn't get out of this thing at work, so I won't be able to meet up. It's a good way to cancel on Valentine's Day without looking like a complete whatever you want to call it. The next step is to make sure that your bases are covered for the evening of Valentine's Day, because that's a much harder one to get out of. So what you need to do is say that your dad is out of town and that you're spending the evening of Valentine's with your mother. Now you're sweet, you're endearing. They don't care if you cancel on them for your mom. So that's a very good thing. The other thing is try to meet up with people, especially at 10. If you got like a 10 out of 10 on Instagram that you're trying to get cutesy with, don't take her out on Valentine's Day. Someone else is taking her out on Valentine's Day. They're going to go to an expensive restaurant, etc., etc., etc. This is your opportunity to be different from the rich guy, because you're not the rich guy. If you are the rich guy, you're not taking my advice because you don't need it. You go out on the Saturday and you do a picnic. Now, with all the money you save from doing a picnic, you can get a really cool gift, like a Stanley Cup. They all love a Stanley Cup, all of them. This is the key. They all love a Stanley Cup, and you go there with a caramel frappuccino from Starbucks. Done. It's like you know them already. And you know how you know them? Because it's all the same thing. They're all the same. They're all going to do it the same way. So you go on Saturday and you have a better date than the guy who spent $5,000 on dinner last night. That is the way to do Valentine's Day. You can quote me on it. Please don't quote me on it. And social media is killing me this year. It's absolutely killing me this year. Because obviously all the 2025 is going to be my year stuff is gone. It's February. Of course that's gone. People are having a horrible time already. And you'll sometimes go onto Facebook and you'll see one of these posts. It's like, that day was only a bit bad, which is way better than how it's been, or something along those lines. Today was only a bit bad, at least it wasn't awful. Things like that. And my whole thing is, okay, Janine, tell me about all the problems in your life that aren't your fault. Are you in this position because of your own doing? That you're sitting complaining to all of us on Facebook, all of us on Instagram, at least today was only a bit bad. Tell me how this position in your life isn't your fault. Psalm 91. Psalm 91. Psalm 91 is not going to help your 2 baby daddies pay you child support. It's not going to happen. Posting the word Psalm 91 on Instagram is not going to help your 2 baby daddies pay child support. I'm just saying. How's about you take some action and then your bit bad days will be more regular? How's about that? How's about that? And if I go onto your Facebook and I go into your bio and I see the languages you speak and I see English twice, Australian English and British English aren't 2 different things. When you're in South Africa and you put down Australian English, what? I say mate a lot? You say mate? Do me a favor. It's just outrageous. It's just so crazy. And it's especially crazy now because of the news in the last few weeks with Donald Trump having a conflict and Elon Musk with Julius Malema, Donald Trump with President Cyril Ramaphosa, or should I say President Trump rather, having their own little dispute over land ownership, whatever. And you've got 10,000 Afrikaans people applying for refugee status in the United States. You want to go to the United States and be a refugee? Is life so awful here? That refugee status is in case someone's farm is taken away, then they can go to America so that they can benefit from the skills of South African farmers. They have a failing agriculture sector. Their agriculture sector is a mess. They want skilled individuals, people with some experience in farming. These are the people they want as refugees. The 10,000 people who applied for refugee status just don't want to be in South Africa because they're racist and they think that's how it works because Donald Trump is racist too. Hey, he's like me. Let me go be a refugee in Ohio. Does that sound fun to you, being a refugee in Ohio? I'm not saying Ohio is a bad place to live. I've never been. But if you were to go to Ohio and be a South African Afrikaans person who doesn't speak English especially well, you want to go be a refugee in Ohio. Good luck with that. I saw an ad on Instagram for a dating app that pairs you up with other people who are listening to the same music as you. So you use this app as a music app, but then it puts you on dates or connects you with people who are listening to the same song you're listening to. And I guarantee you right now, I'm going to download this app and Google the top 20 songs in Colombia at the moment. just play them on a loop. Just play the top 20 hits in Colombia on a loop on that dating app so I can get some hits with some big bottom Latinas. That's what I'm going to do. That's what the app was made for. Surely. You have to manipulate the situation in your favor. Top 20 songs, Colombia, on a loop. Get me some Latinas. That is absolutely the best idea in internet dating that I've ever heard of. Women, it's appealing to them because they feel like they're going to find their soulmate. Oh, we're listening to the same song at the same time. Isn't that beautiful? No, it's not. We manipulate. We Googled the top 20 songs in Colombia. We did it on purpose. Thank you to whoever made that up. I'm going to download it soon. Now, when you start thinking about history, etc., I was speaking a little earlier on about Donald Trump and this whole thing, and obviously the ANC's got this very big socialist agenda. It reminds me of communism. Sure, you can come at me if you understand politics. Most of us don't. But communism and socialism have a lot of similar traits in terms of its centralization of power, rather, right? Is that it's not like libertarianism, that is very much the people or public power. They decide financially what's the best option for their governance or for their service delivery. And then, of course, capitalism, which we're all very used to, that seems to be something that nobody likes. I don't know why. It's probably the best system if you read up on history, because none of the other systems have ever worked. But if the ANC is being weighed up based on their social communist ideology, they're doing pretty well. Because if they're weighing themselves up against Chairman Mao of China and Joseph Stalin of Russia, the death toll's pretty low. We haven't got 50 million deaths from famine. So doing pretty well here in South Africa for our social communist state that we're looking to get to. And if they take your farm, go be a refugee in Ohio. That's all I'm saying. And in the big picture, what this tells us when we look at history, and you look a little further and you look at the universe and you just sort of zoom out a little bit and have a perspective of zooming out, removing yourself from individual situations and zoom out, you realize a few things. And you can't let those things get to you. You have to keep yourself level-headed and live your life with a little bit of joy. I think it's really important to close off on a very good quote. Live your life like you matter, even though you don't. I'm Marco Martins. Good luck with the rest of your week.